I'm Allendale Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin with a look at your midday weather update. The latest model runs into us, or at least I should say the latest GFS model run that's into us, doesn't really give a whole lot of reason to change the thought process much at all here as we go through the coming few days. As a matter of fact, we're going to continue to watch as the coldest air mass out there tries to moderate and move away. However, we're still going to be looking at one more night of cool temperatures across the upper Midwest and into the Great Lakes region. The way I see things working so far here is one that doesn't give me a lot of concern over frost. There's a lot more concern being raised by other people than there is for me. But let's step back and take a look at what happened last night. We saw the frost develop exactly in areas that we thought it would. Extreme western North Dakota, western South Dakota. Wyoming was very cold, of course. Parts of eastern Montana were cold. Did see temperatures dip down to about 33 degrees in parts of northeast Colorado. So that was about 1 to 2 degrees cooler/colder than what I was looking for. Still, though, at the time that we saw those observations, precipitation was still coming down in liquid form, so rain form. So I believe we still escaped the frost scenario there by virtue of the moisture that was falling. Temperatures got down into the upper part of the 30s over western Kansas and north central Kansas. Going forward here, as we said, the cool air mass starts to pull off to the north and east, but it's going to leave a little bit of a long tail, kind of drag its feet a little bit as it's pulled out the door. So this may be a scenario where the coldest part of the air mass at upper levels of the atmosphere might be pulling away by tomorrow morning and be sitting over, Lake Superior, northern parts of Lake Michigan. But we're probably going to see, if you can think of the atmosphere three-dimensionally, so you've got that column of air, the coldest part of the air mass aloft, maybe sitting over the Great Lakes, but then kind of tilt it negatively back down, and it's probably going to be dragging some of that cold air still, several hundred miles back to the south and west across portions of central and southwest Iowa, then through Minnesota, Wisconsin, places like that. So it's not going to be a completely clean exit like that, so we're going to have to keep an eye out for some cool temperatures again overnight tonight. I still don't think they're going to be outside our realm of forecast that we've had so far, which is putting most of the area up there 35, 40 degrees. A couple days ago I was saying I think we're going to see a lot of 37, 38, 39 temperatures. At this point, I think if we get the clouds to break up some, which will be happening during the overnight, we're going to start to see clouds break up, especially to the northwest side. You know what? I may need to shift those. Instead of seeing a lot of 37, 38, 39 degree temperatures, I think we might see a lot more 35, 36, 37s. So is this all of a sudden, hey, we're increasing our frost look? No, probably not. We're still going to be well above those levels that are going to be determined to be very detrimental. But I do think that we're going to be seeing a lot more pictures, kind of like we did this morning. I saw a picture on social media of some frosty beans up in Minnesota. Granted, they were already brown, shedding leaves and heading toward harvest, but still some frosty beans there. We're probably going to be seeing a few more pictures like that on social media as we go through tomorrow morning and midday, 24 hours from now. But to reiterate, we are still not calling for a big frost out there. A key area to watch might actually be places like Grand Forks, North Dakota, Fargo, there through the Red River Valley. That's a lower level area of land. Might see a few temperatures sneak down closer to that 33, 34 overnight tonight, especially if we clear. And that's the big change in my thought process here, if you can call it a change going forward, by having this cool air hang around just a bit longer, even though the air mass is moderating. If it gives more time for the clouds to break up, that opens us up to maybe just a little bit more of a cooler air threat. All of this will be gone. We'll be talking about this in past tense tomorrow by about 10 a.m. Temperatures moderate very quickly across the region as we go through the weekend and into early next week. We'll see another area of high pressure trying to come in as we go from Sunday night into Monday. As we kind of mentioned in our online write-up this morning, some models, namely the GFS, trying to build a little moisture in along the leading edge of that high. I guess I'm not convinced that happens, but at the same time, I'm not convinced it won't either. That's the same kind of scenario we've got going on right now across the middle of the country. My thought process is the difference between what we've got now and last night versus that thing is the fact we've already dried the air off immensely because of the cooling that we saw. So there may not be as much moisture there to work with. So that's my main thought process, but we'll keep an eye out. Most of next week looks clear. The latest midday model runs also are showing that as we go toward the end of next week, we're going to be seeing a significant frontal boundary trying to come across the country as a whole. It's going to initiate first out in the western part of the Corn Belt as we go into and through late next Friday into Saturday. The specific time frame that I'm really wanting to look at as we go long term is going to be the 20th through the 22nd. I think we can see a front move through in that time frame that can bring easily 1 to 3 inches of rain, and there could be some locally higher amounts in there. It is a very, very impressive front. Models are in agreement as to its arrival and its timing. They're in agreement as to its strength. You know, the only difference is the GFS spreads the heavier moisture over a slightly bigger area. And we're seeing the, in terms of the entire Corn Belt, and the European wants to skew it a little bit more to the northwest part of the Corn Belt. So I guess this is one of those scenarios where you might hope that the GFS is right, and so we don't put the heaviest rains right on top of areas that already got it. But, there will be some good rains moving through there, good agreement on this, and no reason to change that here at midday. As we go then into the extended period from about the 22nd right on through the 28th, we see a dry window here. We'll actually see a good ridge trying to build in over the middle of the country. I saw that this morning, hinting at it yesterday, and both models are in agreement that there will be ridging behind that strong front next weekend. So it looks like a drier finish to the month. I guess if we're going to have to deal with another potentially heavy rain batch, it's nice to have excellent dry down conditions behind it, and that's what we'll be looking for. In the meantime, all eyes on the cool temperatures for tonight into tomorrow morning. We're sticking with our forecast. Most of the area getting missed by significant frost potential, and even the places that do get it will be far, far to the north. If you got any questions in the meantime, give us a call at Allendale. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin.